rather than get swept away by centralized narratives and controls that these days offer insufficient, if any, good, and include much hidden evil. Now is the time to redefine life upon Earth as we create a beautifully upgraded version. Welcome to Golden Age Now. Welcome to my vehicular home. So cozy with the wood.
I've got enough of this life as I've been living in. I need to release the past and rocket my moonshot with new energy, drive propulsion. Moonshot me, moonshot vibrations, the best version that we can be for the Earth's elevation. Moonshot different cryptos, yeah, that's cool too. But the stress of the ups and downs of volatility was getting to me. Remember that there are more powerful and sensitive ways with capacity to contribute positively to these shifting days. My life I can save, and I can contribute to yours. Moonshot me, best version I can be, best version I can be, sets me free. Moonshot crypto, yeah, that's cool too. For moonshot, who we are is even better.
The full version that'll be out soon. Sooner than later. Sooner than later. That one's called Moonshot Me. This van I've been living out of about a month now, in a car for almost 2 years prior to that. Wasn't running for like the last 13 months, and I've had a storage locker for a while. I wanted to get some of the stuff out of the storage locker after I'd paid for it for coming up onto 2 years. I knew that over the long haul, I was paying more than what was the value of goods that were in there. But I had some creative files in there as well on different computers. That stuff was priceless to me. Really, though, I wanted to, I thought, well, could I at least get the computers out of there, put them into my car? I didn't even have room to do that. So this van has come into my life about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And after about a week, I decided that I would be getting some furnishings into the vehicle. We got a couple different wood items here, some various things that are helping benefit the vibe of the spot, the functionality of it. And I've also got computers out of there. Though interestingly, about a week after I got the van, I was decided upon moving some things into the van because I finally had some space to do so. And I was walking down the street. Somebody that I passed by, I didn't recognize them. They didn't recognize me, but a very strange happening in my life. Suddenly they raised their voice after we passed by each other, and he says to his friend, but I understood he said it to me. I heard him say word for word, he said, with a little bit of hesitation to what he was saying, he said, turn a van into a house. And I was like, these things, I mean, it doesn't faze me because there's so much higher power, mind-blowing, heart-expanding things to become aware of in these times. That was pretty wild. So that's kind of what I'm doing, turning this van into a house, a bit of a mobile creation station as well, and here we go. It's been a big deal these last few weeks, working on clearing my storage, and I'm still working on getting that happening, and we are going to discuss that a little bit. I wrote up some things here, and we're going to connect it to happenings on the planet of a rather dire situation, though as we unmire ourselves from it, we got the golden age now coming upon us as we choose to anchor it as such. So I had all this stuff put into storage. If you can imagine putting all your household stuff, it was a little difficult to process, what to keep, what potentially to sell, what might be donated, and what maybe might have to go to a landfill. And processing, knowing that I cannot get it all into the van, but I've also not used it for the last couple of years for the most part. Some stuff I wanted to get reunited with to ease the frustration of letting anything go I might still have some attachment to. It occurred to me that some people have the trauma of losing an entire household full of items to fire without any choice of what to keep and what to get rid of. My situation in this regard is far from traumatic, and ultimately is becoming a more functional and impactful one. Other examples of people catastrophically losing their homes come to mind, losing homes by the thousands. Though we're going to address this in a later installment, in April installment, I'm going to say, with a new song I've been working on called Peace Machine. And the beats I made about a year ago, something like that. And for a few months off and on, I've been working on the lyrics, so I've decided upon completing a version of that song. Might have some horn in there as well. It's it's obviously I think it's good, and it has a capacity for great impact. Some of those storage items I greatly wanted to reunite with, especially my drum set, the most recent instrument that I've added to my milieu as a multi-instrumentalist, sometimes a loop artist. When I make songs, you can hear different instruments in there, sometimes from the computer and a keyboard, and sometimes it's from myself analog playing different instruments. So I was playing on the drums for about 3 years, and I was really looking forward to getting back to that. Though I decided once I got the van, I realized that I wasn't going to house the drums anytime soon. Might as well find somebody else to. And I was able to get those sold pretty quickly. That was pretty cool. I delivered them a bit of a ways. It was about a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive out to where it went, and a good time of day to be driving. Also, the computers, particularly the computer files, I wanted to reunite with. Those are what came to mind to me most: the computers, the files, and the drum kit. I've got this desktop here that I've got some of the files off of. I've got another desktop, an older one. This one's kind of powerful. I'm looking to resell it. This computer that I played Moonshot Me from, that I also like to use as a stand for the cell phone camera while I'm doing a recording. This laptop is more powerful than this desktop. I picked it up about a year and a half ago used, with a mind for video production, and in the short term at that point in time also, so I could complete the book in different places, because a very inexpensive used laptop that I had before, got a few months out of it, and it was getting way too glitchy, and sometimes I could write with it and it would freeze up, or close out of the program, perhaps doing different glitchy things with the word processing. It was so nice to have this stable platform with great hardware. It's a mobile workstation. Not going to get too much into it, but it's amazing that this desktop, and now that I think about it, I paid $350 for this desktop, and I paid $350 for this laptop. They were both used. So yeah, I want to reunite with these things, and a Mac. I got a Mac laptop that's great for making music with. It's a bit older, but still powerful enough. It doesn't work so much for the internet now, but of all the things that don't work on it, the music creation software Logic Pro, which is I'm a big fan of that. It's still functional, so I just use that as a music creation station. And some people know Macs, iPhones are kind of expensive, so I got that one. It still works for my music creation, and I'm liking that. I'm looking forward to having it. It's part of the configuration. Heat at the storage messed up the battery, so I'm going to replace the battery in the next week or two, and I need to be able to plug it in. I often have power cord running into the vehicle. This particular location I'm at, in particular. So reuniting with some things, culling some things, and most laborious of all is that I had some food stores in there, and after a few months, mice got in there, and just it was mouse heaven upon earth for a while. I started putting some traps in there, and I know some of them got poisoned from the storage center. They put out some bait and stuff like that, and it was so smelly in there for a while, and I was away from the place for more than a year. My vehicle not running, I didn't have an access to it, and when I got back in there again, thankfully the smell had vanished, and there was mouse poop like everywhere, and it was a 5x5 storage locker packed to the ceiling, mouse poop on like every surface. Thankfully, there were a lot of bins sealed off, closed bins, but the surfaces of the bins and having mouse poop, and any of the floor that was exposed had little shavings of bits of this and that, nuts and seeds. Maybe I noticed that I had some lentils, or perhaps they were peas, and I could see all the skins on the floor. And I'm gonna include some photographs of some of the stuff that I went through dealing with that. So it's been time consuming. It's pretty cleaned out, and I'm being as thorough with it as possible. I don't wanna leave a mess for the storage people. I'm being as good hearted. I'm doing the best that I can with it. And so I've given some of the labors that are involved in culling the items. It occurred to me that, like I mentioned, way better than people dealing with fire, losing their entire household. We have had lots of odd fires these last several years, so-called wildfires. Maybe some were natural, yet some definitely were not. This planet, our homeworld, is getting messed with in the biggest ways unimaginable to most people. Because most people are decent enough to, at the very least, not be evil. It's hard to see these societal happenings sometimes because we wouldn't do them, so we can't imagine that others could. This innocence is used against us, and it hides dramatically evil doings. However, if we are willing to look and to listen, especially when we're invited to do so by those very open about this information, even very open to discussion and perhaps debate, there often is much to see and to understand for our great betterment. Clearing out the old crap of Earth, that's just the way it is nonsense, is far better than simply clearing out storage. For we are to give rise to health, vitality, and prosperity greatly beyond that little of this which we currently have upon the earth. We're to have all of them at high levels is quite rare. In fact, unhappiness, chronic disease, and financial stress are far more common because our world is upside down. The more people that see things for what they really are, the more that people can help make things right. A work that is to benefit countless beings, because the significance of this will run far into the future. And even early on from this fruition of transformation, there will be positive significance openly and dramatically extended into our galaxy. Though the positive drama will likely more so initially be for us homeworlders, as we've grown up in great ignorance, and we've been greatly emotionally, mentally, spiritually impaired. It is time that, with our freedom seized and declared, we will come to know a great and widespread wellness that has been rare in known history. Though it has been here, in Atlantis, for example. It is time for the golden age now. To free our world, we must perceive the evildoers. Though I'm far more interested in solutions and problems, and I'm not one much for complaining, I've come to understand that people need to know that a problem exists before it can be addressed. What does the name Lahaina mean to you? How about Maui? Maui wildfires? So-called wildfires? Were there a few wildfires and a lot that were not? Were there no wildfires? If you look at the evidence and think for yourself upon the topic of the Lahaina fires, clearly wildfires could not have done these things. I saw so much footage of melted cars.
Oh, look at it. We're going to show you some more things as we're walking along here. How did that not disappear? If this melted, how did that cone not completely disappear? Because if you look at this vehicle, and I want you to notice the burn, the amount of grass, as you can see, that burned and the char marks. This car is basically completely surrounded by gravel, and you can small little flames right here when this grass burned. Yet when you turn and look right in this direction, besides seeing Dylan, my technical cameraman, you can see this car. And for all you scientists out there that have been sending me images and you're asking me if they're real, I'm here to tell you, in Jesus' name, what we're showing you is real, live on YouTube. So if you enjoy content like this, we ask you to please immediately like this, share this, subscribe to the channel. Why? Because you are our only hope of getting this world through the YouTube algorithm. The tire that is gone. These are the braids of steel inside the tire. Look at this particular rim. Is it safe to say these are aluminum?
Look at the windshield. What's that?
Are these aluminum?
Yeah, that's cast aluminum wheels.
Cast aluminum wheel. You can see it melted.
And the windshield on the inside?
Look at the windshield. That is a windshield right there that is completely melted. We have some jumper cables in the back of the vehicle. We have some cast aluminum here that's pulverized.
It's just dust.
Grass fire that did not come from this direction, because you can see there's nothing that's been burned over here. What could cause that type of destruction?
Rims melted, rivulets of resolidified aluminum, with little landscaping nearby to have done so. Furthermore, firefighters with decades of experience indicated that they'd never seen this happen to cars. Some buildings were leveled completely to the ground, while trees in the area remained upright. Grasses and trees far from sufficient in the area to fuel a firestorm anyways, one that would level all these buildings.
So that was about 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
You saw a fire and you're just like, what? That doesn't look normal. So just go ahead. Yeah, share your screen.
And
as you do that, I'm going to shut this glass door for sound, but keep going.
okay. What I saw was something that didn't make sense to me. I saw this picture of Santa Rosa, California. This came up on my computer screen because I'm looking for hikes and waterfalls and such. And this came up, and yeah, all the houses are missing their white ash, but what are all the trees doing there? Many of these are pines and eucalyptus and very flammable leaves.
Seemingly making it through like a checkerboard. One could not imagine wind carrying such destruction through the old town area of Lahaina, and the vehicles that were trapped. Police trapped those vehicles, trapped the people from leaving. And strangest of all, perhaps, there were buildings, cars, and umbrellas of the color blue that went undamaged. Many claimed that this destruction was wrought the result of a DEW, directed energy weaponry. The blue aspect, some people theorized that there was something about the directed energy weaponry that couldn't destroy or couldn't target blue items. What came to me, I want to say that it was an intuition. Maybe my mind, my ego put this out. I'm not entirely sure at that point in time. Was it an intuition, divine insight? Or did my ego put it out? But I had the theory that as part of the malevolent sickness of that attack and destruction was an indication that it was clearly being targeted and directed site by site, saying we can destroy this and we can not destroy that as evidence of the orchestration of such destruction. For whatever reason, blue items, blue roofs, blue roofed buildings, blue cars, blue umbrellas, these went unscathed when structures and vehicles in the immediate vicinity, a car, smoked. Blue car, unscathed. Car smoked. What? How is that possible? Same with the buildings. Definitely not wildfires. At the time, several weeks after, I'm pretty sure this was an August 7th occurrence of 2023, I listened to a beautifully rare insider describe how this, amongst other things she described, that this had been part of a satanic ritual. She noted that there was a lot of beauty, positivity in the land itself. Many people have said that about Maui, and she said the satanic ritual was to reverse the polarity of the land. Though I sense that so much love is going to the space that is not to be so. Furthermore, the obviousness of it is, I sensed immediately, it was so obvious, though it went unseen to most people, it was so obvious wrongdoing that surely it was going to be part of the floodgates of truth and information that facilitate the liberation of the homeworld. Oh, and there were scores of missing kids as well. This happened before school had been back in. Bodies not discovered, bodies not recovered, and evidence at the time indicating they'd been kidnapped into human trafficking. And I'm going to include as evidence remote viewing done on where the kids were by Lily Nova Starseed. More on remote viewing to come. Remote viewing is a chapter in the book, and it is decidedly part of the liberation of this planet. And there's a good chance you don't know about it because the best stuff has been hidden. And I'm not going to say the best among us, but there are some of us that are bringing forth their best information that we liberate with zest. Perhaps not one of the best among us. A recent clip of Biden has him noting that if people have the right color roof, they were good. Pretty sure this was after the State of the Union address, and he mentioned it just off stage, mentioned it to somebody while there was lots of cameras around. It was clearly meant to be heard. Probably that was scripted. Maybe it was off the cuff. But anyways, he said, yeah, people have the right colored roof. They're fine. Biden's eyes seem very strange to me. Are they the eyes of a longtime puppet and only semi-professional actor? Lahaina, I experienced as an attack upon humanity. So obviously a lie that it could have been wrought by wildfire. So obviously conspired. 3 weeks prior to the destruction, the state of Maui changed a regulation. It had been on the books that, rather what it was changed to, it's a little clearer. there was a change made on the books that said that in the case of natural disaster.
This part becomes really unclear. What I meant to say, what I was attempting to say, was that 3 weeks prior to the incident at Lahaina, there was a change on the books where historically protected lands, the change on the books said that in the event of a natural disaster, anything could be done, any kind of rebuilding could be done with the land as desired by presumably whoever, except it wouldn't have been the homeowners apparently.
None of this reported on the mainstream. All the videos I was checking out, much evidence was circulating online last summer and fall, though it's not as readily found now, shadow banned it appears to be. Are we to win? Yeah. The more people that get positively involved, the more people that stand up, the sooner this happens. With awareness of staggering truths hidden and fetid lies presented in the legacy media, and the truth shall set you free sense of inspiration was my book, written and rewritten a lot over a 16-month period, starting from card dwelling month number 1, week 3, and completed mid-summer 2023. It's most readily found through my website, Golden Path, golden, 6 letters, Golden Path, 10 letters, goldenpath.earth, with a link to order fulfillment from Amazon.ca and Amazon.com. It can also be found on Amazon as well, searching, using the 5-word search term for a pretty long title, 5-word search term, what really happened to worlds. Got a recent shipment in, just picked it up earlier today. A couple more copies back there, so that is 6 physical copies we have on site, plus my copy up front there that I do readings from, because it was just moderately damaged. We're going to do a reading from that now. It's a live action shot. 27 minutes I see there. I like to leave this up on the dashboard. I'm not entirely why. People can kind of see it through the plastic bag. Maybe it's a little bit of positive promotion. I like to see it up there. So, as we do, where we are open to, oh, there, we read a little. I saw condensation in there sometimes from the bag, different temperatures, night and day, windshield sunlight. Are we going to have some little veggie garden up there soon? Whole food sweeteners, because yum. Whole food sweeteners will raise blood sugar for those that it is an issue, but usually they have less grams of actual sugar than the same volume of refined sugar. They variously have strong yet largely pleasant flavors and fair to high levels of nutrition. Fair to high levels of nutrition, like blackstrap molasses, for example. Ooh, lots of nutrition. And digestibility cofactors that refined sugar lacks. Refined sugar, by the way, as I note in this chapter, is poisonous. Why would you want a little bit of poison? Why would you want a lot of poison? Some people never drink pop. Oh, we skipped a sentence. A can of Coke has 6 teaspoons of sugar, a ridiculous and likely harmful amount for those that regularly consume it. Some people never drink pop. The flavors and nutrition of whole food sweeteners are conducive to thinking and experiencing of sweeteners as food. Not just some crap we add to a drink or dessert to make it pleasing to the tongue and potentially harmful elsewhere, especially when regularly consumed. With healthy and delicious options available, most of which aren't expensive, why buy refined sugar at all? Next sentence starts with stevia. Stevia. Did you hear that? Okay, I gotta admit, I didn't hear it, but I felt it. Hello. Golden age now. Yes. Thank you. Yes, this is also the request line. Oh, yeah. Would love to. Yeah. No Falsify Rebirth. Sure thing. Yeah, working on it. Working on getting it out there. Yeah, it's a powerful song. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does cover a lot of area. And you know, funny you should ask, because for the last couple of weeks, I'd been planning on including it in this installment, and I find that the fit is it's quite beautiful for the subject matter. Yeah, we got that coming up right now. No Falsify Rebirth. So this is more spacious. I'm gonna say infinitely so. Technically, it's not true. It feels infinitely more spacious than my car dwelling did. I can't believe I did that for two. I can believe I did that for 2 years. Oh, the things we do, things we gotta do, choose to do, some combination of the two. No Falsify Rebirth. No Falsify Rebirth. No Falsify. Oh my goodness. New world we rise. Yeah. You know, I'm working on this. I so nearly have these lyrics like fully memorized. Sometimes I just gotta get it started, right? And I'm not gonna retake this, I'm just gonna leave it in here. But we're gonna go right to the verse, right to the first verse. That's it. Okay. Oh, if I had regular gigs, that would be so sweet. Maybe if they're even regular internet gigs, like every Wednesday or something like that. Other video or once a week. We'll see. No falsify. Rebel the earth, we had enough of the lies. New earth, we're right. For brothers and our sisters and all them there. Had not they been able to sift up into my eyes, clarify the power together we can be as new world we rise. Falsify no longer, no falsify to media. Truck getting stronger. No agile peace, harmony in abundance. Gonna last for longer than the thousands of years of darkness, manipulation upon them. With pockets of light air, sun shining tired. time new world will rise. To be honest, the lyrics are just a tiny bit different there. We are working on this. Next time that I rock this, next time that I rock this, I'm gonna make the lyrics all tightening. See if we can nail the third verse. Benevolent extraterrestrials have been alive. Yeah, there's somewhere. Yeah. There's so out there, anywhere. And many are here to help. They can well disarm nuclear weaponry. Historically, this has been done, so no nuclear World War III. Many want us as ascended beings and planets. The shadow of Kabbalah, your level, they want us to follow. With the many deception, they but fake alien invasion plans with their hidden craft iron wood, crafting for us plans of our own, and in their deception, blending our conceptions of best version Earth. No falsify, rebirth the earth. Let's do it now, y'all.